Hello! We are ready to begin using the Learning Continuum Descartes, connecting data to instruction. Our goal in using assessment data is to maximize growth for all students. The reports from the MAP assessments allow us to customize the instruction for students to help them learn and grow. The class report gave us summary data and the student's overall performance in the content area for the reading. The MAP assessments are used to determine a student's current achievement level so that instructional materials, strategies, and assessments for learning can be aligned appropriately. We have learned that the RIT scores are the measures used to determine achievement levels for students. Today we will use the RIT scores to determine the instructional level for students using the Descartes Learning Continuum. Using the RIT score range in the Descartes Learning Continuum, teachers can provide targeted instruction for individual students or groups of students. From the class report, we will use the norm grade level mean RIT for 5th grade reading to group our current students. Also, we will use the goal area performance data to prioritize our learning objectives for the students in the class. There are 3 goal areas for reading: reading strategies, comprehending literary texts, comprehending informative and persuasive texts, word relationships, and meaning. The grade level mean RIT for this group was 207.1. The resource that we will use to capture our collaborative data conversations is called the Data to Instruction Framework. There are 7 sections in this framework: content area, concept, goal performance area, RIT range, student groups, skills from selected learning data statements in the Descartes Learning Continuum, and then student activities, instructional strategies, and assessments. I will discuss each section as a progressive step in the process. Step 1, the first section, is content area. For our demonstration today, we will use reading. The second step is to identify the related goal performance area from the Descartes Learning Continuum and a concept skill within this performance area. In the Descartes Learning Continuum, each subject is divided into categories called main goal strands. The main goal strands are then broken into 10-point RIT ranges based on difficulty. Within each RIT range, the sub-goals are further divided into skills and concepts. These skills and concepts are tested on the MAP assessment as well as state assessments. The selected goal performance area is informative and persuasive text. The concept or skill is the main idea, important details. Since the goal strands in the Descartes Learning Continuum are divided into 10-point RIT ranges and subdivided into skills and concepts by level of difficulty, student groupings by RIT range need to be identified. This is step 3. What are the RIT goal score ranges for informative and persuasive text? This is the second row. in the class breakdown by goal report. The scores range from 171 on the low end to 230 on the high end. Students are achieving at different levels. To differentiate the instruction for the students, we want to group them by their current achievement levels as indicated by their RIT scores. So for step 4, we first have to determine the middle range in this goal area. We are going to use the grade level mean RIT, which is 207.1. This grade level mean would fall in black between the scores of 201 and 210. So that would make up our middle group or our middle range group for this particular goal. Those students who are performing above would be 211 to 230, and there are 4 students. In the middle range, there are 5 students. On the lower range would be the scores from 171 to 200, and there are 6 students who fall in that particular range, the students who are below the middle range. This slide shows the students within each score range. Students above 211 to 230, Sweet, Sizemore, Winston, and Flores. Students that were 201 to 210 in the middle range were Swanston, Strom, Voltmer, Roglan, and Diamond. Students who were in the lower range, 171 to 200, are Walton, Tressler, Garcia, Grimson, Martinez, and Vasquez. So our groups are 4, 5, and then 6 that are in the lowest rank. The next step is to identify the learning data statements from the Descartes Learning Continuum that will better describe the concepts and skills that will be appropriate for the students based on their RIT scores within the score ranges for the goal area we have selected. The Descartes Learning Continuum can be accessed by clicking on any of the students in the cells on the class breakdown by goal report. Our concept, skill, focus is main ideas and details. Students will practice this skill by paraphrasing and summarizing informational text. Here are the selected data statements for the differentiated groups. For the group that's below, it would be paraphrasing information found in complex informational text. Those students would be responsible for reading along with the partner, with the teacher, and then just learning the structure of an informational expository text, while at the same time learning to put their ideas into writing, transferring what they've read into a written paragraph. Students in the middle would be locating and paraphrasing information in informational text as well. They would be writing, though, 5 to 6 paragraphs. So using the same strategy on paraphrasing, but the students would be writing longer paragraphs. Third, the students in the higher group would be summarizing informational text and using 1 to 3 paragraphs, and their paragraphs, a part of the rubric criteria, would be writing complex sentences and not only simple sentences. The goal again was comprehending informative and persuasive text, and here's where the skills are broken down. So on the next slide, we've completed our framework with our content area, concept, goal, performance. We have our student groups by their RIT score ranges. And now we're going to insert or input the learning data statements. So for the group that was above, they're going to be summarizing informational text using 1 to 3 paragraphs. The students in the middle range would be locating and paraphrasing information in informational text. Those text samples, examples would be 5 to 6 paragraphs. And students in the lower group would be paraphrasing information in a smaller excerpt or selection in order to learn the process and also the structure of an expository or informational text. The last and final link as we move from data to instruction in this framework is to identify aligned and appropriately challenging activities, strategies, and assessments for the skills and concepts to be learned by students within each score goal range, above, middle, and below. The task and teaching strategies should be as differentiated for each group as the learning data statements in the Descartes Learning Continuum, and they are aligned to the level of difficulty according to Bloom's taxonomy. Students in this class have read an article about the Great Depression in social studies. The activity that I've chosen to emphasize main idea and detail is for the students in the 3 groups to either work on summarizing or paraphrasing the content from this informational text on the Great Depression. Students in the higher range will use notes from their graphic organizer to independently write a summary paragraph or an essay of 3 paragraphs. Students will be given a rubric to evaluate whether their summaries meet the criteria for the task. Students will need to answer the 5 W's and the H in their graphic organizer, as well as use complex sentence structure. Students will peer edit and evaluate another peer's summary. Afterwards, they will rewrite their drafts and turn them in as final drafts. Students in the middle range will use the same article on the Great Depression, but they will focus on paraphrasing the information. The graphic organizer will have questions where they can take notes on the 5 W's and the H, the reporter's formula. They will do this with a partner. Afterwards, the students will write a 3 to 5 sentence summary, and then after peer editing, they will return their work to the teacher. Students in the lower score range will work primarily with the teacher and a partner to paraphrase the information from the first 3 paragraphs in the selection. We're going to work on a shorter portion of the article, first of all. So that's going to differentiate the instruction for these students. And also they will be guided in their work with the teacher, whereas the other 2 groups are working independently and with their peers. The students will be given a graphic organizer that will be somewhat different, but it still has the 5 W's. And so students are using the same content, the same terminology to do their work, but it's just differentiated according to their achievement levels. The teacher will guide the students in writing a main idea sentence and 2 detail sentences. This group will write their summary paragraph together. The emphasis will be on helping students first of all comprehend the text, then the structure. Then we will look at the structure of the informative text, looking at beginning, middle, and end, looking at the main idea or topic of the selection, as well as supporting details or sentences for the paragraph. And also the emphasis will be on actually writing a 3-paragraph essay The emphasis will be on writing a 3-sentence paragraph with the main idea or topic and details. Because the tasks are differentiated for the student groups, the graphic organizers are also different. Each group will receive the support necessary to be successful with this task for summarizing or paraphrasing. On the continuum, students needing more challenge would work more independently. The students in the middle and below ranges would have more support from the teacher and their peers. By honoring where students are learning on the learning continuum and challenging them appropriately, teachers can better assess whether students are growing. Also, teachers can make the necessary instructional adjustments when students need more challenge or more assistance learning the targeted concepts. Assessments aligned to the learning data statements from the map and state assessments for each RIT score range will help teachers monitor student growth and continue moving students toward the next level of performance. This will end our session on this section of the Learning Continuum Descartes, where we were connecting data to instruction so that students can continue to grow.